Here in my area, we've recently started a program where they are training teachers to carry guns in schools as part of security for schools. That sparked a lot of debate here locally. In fact, it sparked a debate the other night between me and a friend of mine, and I kind of want to make a video discussing what we talked about in that debate. It seems like the only argument people that are against teachers carrying guns can bring up is, what if the teacher accidentally harms a child? I'm like, you really don't trust a teacher that's been trained to carry a gun. You trust this same teacher with your child all day long without any supervision from you, yet you don't trust them to handle a firearm. Is that because you don't trust the teacher, or is that because you just have an irrational fear of firearms? Was my point to the person I was talking to. Let me give you an example of some things that you do that are much, much more dangerous than a teacher safely carrying a firearm in the classroom. And you don't have to look very far. You just have to look at something you do every day for your kids. Every day you put your kids on a school bus with a driver who works for a company, who hires people who work for the least money with very little background vetting. Seems like every time we have a problem here where a school bus accident occurs and children are injured, they check the background of the driver and they've got something in their background that says they probably shouldn't have been driving a bus full of children. Yet people put their kids on that bus every day. There's no seat belts. Automobile accidents are like one of the #1 killers of children, and yet people don't think twice about that. That's something they just send their kids out the door every morning to jump onto the big giant metal death machine, and they don't think anything of it. Yet when it comes to a teacher, well-trained, safely carrying a gun in the classroom, they somehow freak out. And the only other argument anyone could bring up that night was like, well, what if the students rush the teacher and take his gun? I'm like, or her gun. And I'm like, well, if the students are rushing the teacher and taking a gun, you're really focusing on the wrong problem there. It's not that the teacher had a gun, it's that the students are rushing the teacher. I mean, you're really choosing to focus on the part that you have an irrational fear of. Your hoplophobia is not justification for you thinking that teachers shouldn't be allowed to do something safely and respectfully and responsibly. So in the end, I just don't think the how unsafe it is for teachers to carry guns argument holds up, because people accept dangers much greater than that. I mean, heck, swing sets, jungle gyms, etc. are responsible for more serious injuries of children than firearms in schools are. So start thinking reasonably. Start using logic. That teacher safely and responsibly carrying a firearm after being well trained presents almost no danger, especially compared to other things that you accept every day. So realize that maybe your issue isn't with the teacher carrying a gun, it's just with guns themselves, and you're just frightened of them. And then sit down and think, that teacher carrying that gun is very unlikely to actually do anything negative to my children. They are a well-trained, responsible person. They're a teacher, for God's sakes. We trust them with our children every day. I trust them to operate a gun safely after being trained. So if you can trust them with that, you can trust them with a gun. And start realizing they're not liable to hurt my child. But if something ever goes wrong, if something bad happens, in the remote possibility that someone comes in that school and tries to hurt someone, I want them to be able to fight back.